Hello there, entrepreneurs, dream makers, and small business titans. I'm Chip Schweiger, and welcome to this episode of the Entrepreneur's Accountant Podcast, the podcast where you get tips and tricks that can help you level up your business to build value and create a business that goes from 7 figures to 8 and from 8 figures to 9. I'm a CPA in public practice who has worked with some of the largest companies in America. But my other passion is in helping entrepreneurs and business owners like you, because you truly are the crown jewel of our economy. And today I want to talk about your books and records. But before I move on, be sure to sign up for email updates at my website, www.schweiger.cpa, to get exclusive content and tips that allow you to grow your business while enjoying the lifestyle you're entitled to. That's www.schweiger.cpa. So back to the show. And this week, let's talk about something entrepreneurs seem to be scared to death of: their company's books and records. And look, I get it. You have a great idea or a phenomenal product that has met with success, and you've got an 8-figure company that continues to grow. The last thing you want to do is take your eye off the ball in terms of what's made you successful to fiddle with some accounting stuff. But first, a story. So recently, I attended 3 different networking events where the panelists were middle market business owners, entrepreneur types, who had successfully sold their companies or who had successfully partnered with a private equity firm investor. Now, the bulk of the audience at these 3 events was comprised of business coaches, professional advisors, and owner-managed business CEOs who were also looking to sell their businesses. And as you might guess, the questions at each event quickly turned to, if you had it to do over again, what would you do differently? That's a great question, I thought to myself, just before the various panelists at the most recent event said the exact same thing out loud. The first panelist answered without much thought at all. He said, I would get our books and records in order much earlier in the process. The second CEO panelist gave pretty much the same response. And then the third one exclaimed, yep, get your accounting in order. And so it went with the fourth one, and the fifth one, and the sixth one. And, well, you get the idea. What these business owners had learned through the process of successfully selling their businesses, and what I'm sharing with you today, are 3 things. 1, potential buyers are going to find your pigs, so you want to find them first. So what do I mean? Buyers and private equity investors are going to come in and walk through the bushes of your company with a big stick and look to find as many accounting issues as they can. And the reason is simple. Their incentive is to pay as low a price as possible for your life's work. Most of the private equity folks that I know want to pay a fair price, but they need there to be some upside opportunity built into the business. Hence them trying to get a valuation on the lowest end of the range of potential multiples of earnings. Now you, as the seller, have a similar goal of receiving a fair price, but you want it to be as high as possible. Having potential buyers or investors talk to your accountant about the fair book value of your business using accountant ease. I don't even know if that's a word, but I just made it up. Having them do that can often make a huge difference in arriving at a mutually beneficial, fair price. So, the first lesson. You can try to dress up those muddy pigs after others find them, or you can turn them into prize-winning hogs long before potential buyers get to them. Number 2. Your car is really cool, but it's not worth what you think it is. Now, as entrepreneurs, we commonly attach a lot of intrinsic value to the businesses that have been our life's work, but a potential buyer doesn't have the same emotional attachment as you do. Buyers are dealing in growth opportunities and in market synergies and in untapped sales channels and in the strength of your accounting and finance function. So getting the latter in order as early as possible can often set your expectations in a really good place. So consider this. Most of us would be willing to pay a whole lot more for a Ferrari, if that's the car we were going to buy, that had complete records and a reliable history of maintenance documents than we would for the same sports car without all these records. And the same is true for your business. So lesson number 2, the better your accounting records, the more comfortable someone will be with paying your desired price. So number 3, neatness counts. Now you probably heard this in high school, but what the heck does it have to do with selling your business for a huge profit? Well, your company will be much more marketable if you have several years of audited or reviewed financial statements at the ready when someone comes calling. And just to level set for a minute, a financial statement review is like an audit, but with much less testing. So it essentially takes a higher level view to make sure that things in your books and records pass what I call the smell test. Whereas a financial statement audit involves much more testing and produces an opinion that your financial statements are materially correct. Now, yes, most investment bankers or business brokers can help you get an audit or a review, but why wait until then? You're only burning time, and time, as they say, is money. So I asked an entrepreneur client of mine why he was requesting audited financial statements before anybody had looked at his company. Did he want to sell his company? Did he want to get a private equity partner? Or did he want to take the company public? Maybe, and maybe, he instantly replied. And I just love that answer. And then he told me that while he wasn't sure what opportunities there would be for his business in the future, he did know that he wanted to be ready for any and all of them. Look, no one really wants a financial statement audit. Let's just be honest about it. But smart entrepreneurs that I've had the pleasure of working with are forward-looking, and they see the game in front of them. My client got it, and as Don Draper from the TV show Mad Men, if anyone remembers that, as Don Draper was fond of saying, we only want to do business with others that get it. So, lesson number 3, don't waste time now that you wish you had later. Get those records in order. And that includes, by the way, your taxes. So consider these 3 tips to getting your business's accounting in order starting today. Having audited financial statements and complete tax returns at your fingertips will ensure that you're ready to capitalize on any opportunity to monetize your years of hard work when those opportunities come your way. And before we finish for this week, I thought of one more thing. By having someone involved in looking at your books and records well before a potential transaction, you not only get a track record established, but you'll learn places to focus on to make your company even more valuable. Think about it. If you were going to remodel your house, would you put in a new pool that really doesn't add much value? Or would you redo your kitchen, which will get you a whole lot more in value than what you're going to pay for it? The answer is obvious. Building your company for value is the exact same thing, and having someone else with you on it can make all the difference. And in my experience, it really helps entrepreneurs to get to where they want to be, especially if the owner has quite a bit of their net worth tied up in the business and is considering how they can unlock that value in the near or intermediate future. So that's all for this week, and I'm truly honored that you've chosen to invest your time with me. If you've enjoyed today's discussion, please consider subscribing to this podcast so that you'll never miss a future episode. It's easy to do by just clicking on the subscribe button. And with that, we'll see you down the road.